County authorities tell me that they can't go into too many details about this investigation as it is still active. However, the Commonwealth Attorney tells me that these two students were potentially planning a mass shooting at the high school. A potentially deadly plan at Riverbend High School stopped.
Information has been developed by the SRO of the students' intentions to commit acts of violence against others in the school.
That school resource officer then began working with authorities to begin the investigation.
This was a serious threat.
Captain Jeffrey Pierce with the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office says two teenage boys had been making plans to phone in a bomb threat and then shoot people as they came outside the school. On October 12th, a school resource officer arrested a 17-year-old regarding the student's intentions to commit those violent acts.
You they will.
He was charged with
Caucasians, Europeans
Then on Friday,
living out there.
a 15-year-old student who was potentially linked to the plotting was arrested. The charges on the first student were amended, and both were charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
The police investigation did reveal that these youths had access to firearms.
A notice was sent out last week to parents after the first arrest, and then again on Saturday after the second student was taken into custody. And while authorities know these arrests can bring uneasiness for some, they're thankful for the hard work from law enforcement, school, and county officials, all working together.
We were able to catch this thing long before it became a different kind of story.
Now, authorities want to make it clear that there was no immediate threat to the public. Now, those two students arrested are behind bars without bond. Working for you in Spotsylvania County this evening, Chelsea Weir, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Chelsea. And we've got more breaking news tonight. This is out of Dinwiddie County. All the northbound lanes of Interstate 85 are closed near mile marker 46 because of a fatal crash. It happened around 3:30 this afternoon. You can see in this picture here, the vehicle's upside down, and at this point, around 4:40 in the afternoon, still on fire after the crash. According to VDOT, the backup remains about 3 miles, and they say motorists should avoid the area. Traffic is being diverted to Route 40 at exit 42, and we're waiting word from Virginia State Police on more information about the victim and the cause of the accident. Also breaking tonight, Chesterfield police respond to a car crash and find a person suffering from a gunshot wound. It happened sometime after 3:30 in the 8700 block of Hull Street Road. Police are releasing few details at this hour, but they say the person who was found shot is alive, but they won't give more information on his or her condition. New at 6 tonight, residents of one Central Virginia neighborhood reach out to CBS 6 after dozens of Ku Klux Klan flyers were found at the end of a number of driveways. The flyers were found this morning in the north end of Colonial Heights on Moore Avenue. Residents tell us they were wrapped around local newspapers, the ones that you can find for free at the grocery store. We spoke to a neighbor with a mixed-race child who says she didn't think this still happens nowadays.
She lied.
I mean, what if he was able to understand that? How do you think that would make him feel? And as a mother, you know, that would hurt me, upset me.
While the flyers were found in Colonial Heights, the address that appears on them is from 3 hours west in Botetourt County.
Chief Colhane.
A crime alert now out of Chesterfield County tonight, where police say they're on the lookout for a bank robber. It happened just before 11 this morning in the 7300 block of Jeff Davis Highway. It's about a mile south of the Chippenham. Police say a man in dark clothing went into this Wells Fargo, handed the teller a note demanding money, and then he got away with an undisclosed amount of cash and ran south down Route 1. No one was hurt, and police say he never displayed a weapon. If you got information that could help investigators, call Crime Solvers, the number 748-0660. Well, if you're outside today, you know it was a whole lot cooler than it has been, and overcast, a slight change to what we've been used to. Mike Stone's in the Weather Center now to tell us what are we looking at tonight and tomorrow.
Well, Bill, we have a system approaching from the west, and that's actually going to give us a chance of a shower or two tomorrow. No worries about any rain tonight. The clouds have actually been breaking up a little bit over the last couple of hours. They will fill back in, and sunset's just a little bit away at 6:21. Right now it's 61 in Richmond, 59 in Louisa and Culpeper, and also in Kilmarnock. A lot of the area in the low 60s right now, and you can see the cloud cover we've been dealing with most of the day. The system from the west, the cold front, is spreading some moisture into the area. A couple showers are trying to get going near the West Virginia border. They're not having too much success. A lot of this is moving southwest to northeast, but eventually some of this moisture will come in tomorrow. Some of it's going to fall apart, but enough will hold together for maybe a shower. But no worries about that for your evening plans. This chance of a shower, especially north and west of Richmond, won't come in until late tonight, closer to tomorrow. Lows will be in the low 50s, a few 40s in some of our outlying areas. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high near 70 with a 30% chance of a shower or two. What is left of Patricia, no longer a tropical system anymore, just big area low pressure sending a lot of moisture up into the southern plains and even some cloud cover towards our area. That will impact our weather towards the middle of the week. I'll tell you how coming up. Bill?
Thank you, Mike. New at 6 tonight, finding a new home. Last week, dogs left homeless from the massive flooding in South Carolina arrived here in Richmond, and now they're up for adoption. Our Sandra Jones is here to show us how local families came out to help the pups in need. Sandra?
Well, Bill, as you mentioned, nearly 24 dogs are one step closer to getting new homes. This week, Richmond's SPCA started adopting out the pooches to a few loving families. All have been checked out by a vet. Some of the animals suffering from heart murmurs to broken bones, but their injuries could have been much worse when you think about the powerful storm that swept through South Carolina. Now, our cameras got a rare look at some of those rescued animals. The dogs range from Chihuahuas to lab mixes. Last week, Richmond's SPCA rescued the dogs you see here and brought them to their no-kill shelter. The animals were runaways at risk of being euthanized. That's because South Carolina shelters were overcrowded after Hurricane Joaquin. Now, these dogs do not have families looking for them since they were already in shelters before the storm pounded that area. CBS 6 caught up with one family as they were leaving with at the shelter with their new pet.
It was just a terrible thing. I mean, all the flooding that happened, people lost homes, and obviously a lot of animals were misplaced from their homes and stuff, so it was a very sad situation. And, you know, to be able to take a dog from the streets and that was misplaced from their home and provide a new home for them, it's a good thing. It's a good feeling.
Now, the adoption fee for those animals is $110. All pets are spayed or neutered, up to date on their vaccinations, and microchipped. Now, if you would like more information about the adoption process and requirements, go to our website at WTVR.com. There will be a link to Richmond's SPCA on what you need to know. Working for you, Sandra Jones for CBS 6.
So great to see Richmonders stepping up. Thank you, Sandra. New at 6, more than a dozen children learned how to ride their bikes safely around Central Virginia today. It was this morning at Falling Creek Elementary. Do you recognize that guide right there? That's our John Burkett helping some of the children learn to ride a bike. About 15 kids came to ride bikes through an obstacle course today. They learned biking hand signals, signs, and rules of the road. John really knows what he's doing out there. Matt Capehart, the PE teacher at Falling Creek, organized the event. Several of the children taking part had never ridden a bicycle before today. See, way to go, John. Tragedy in the heartland. A car speeds into a homecoming parade, plowing into a crowd, killing 3. What charges the drivers facing tonight? A train derails in high water, where it happened, and how the crew was rescued.
We've got a lot working for you on CBS 6 Sunday morning, protecting your personal information. This computer could help prevent you from becoming the victim of identity theft, how it works, and the 5 important lessons it's teaching students. Plus, Mike will look ahead to your work week forecast. All that, plus breaking news when you wake up with us on CBS 6 Sunday morning.
1 in 5 children in America go to school hungry every day.
I don't like to go to school hungry. I don't think anybody should go to school without eating. Everybody should be able to eat.
I'm Viola Davis. I was one of those children. I was one of the nearly 17 million kids in the United States who worry where their next meal will come from.
Sometimes we have to wait a long time before we eat. We don't have money for food.
Children in your neighborhood are suffering. But hunger is not always easy to see.
I get tired when I don't eat. Kids are hungry in the United States.
Hunger exists. In America, it no longer has to.
I don't want to go to bed hungry.
Hunger is everyone's problem. Hunger is you.
Hunger is me.
Hunger is all of us.
Help undo hunger for America's children. Go to hungeris.org.
Together, we can make a difference.
simply go to socialsecurity.gov.
If it wasn't so important, would I be wearing pointy ears?
Developing now, a woman is under arrest and charged with DUI after crashing her car into a crowd at the Oklahoma State University homecoming parade, killing 3, injuring 22. Witnesses say the car crashed through the parade route around 10:30 this morning. The car also hit a parked police motorcycle before it came to a stop. The driver, 25-year-old Adacia Chambers, has been arrested for driving under the influence. Oklahoma State University's president says the entire Stillwater community is now in mourning.
The Oklahoma State homecoming parade is probably one of the most wholesome, happy events in the country. And to have it fouled like this and these victims, it's a terrible tragedy.
She looked just like her mama.
We reach out and embrace the victims and their families.
The driver is expected to face even more charges. The homecoming game at Oklahoma State versus Kansas went on as scheduled, with a moment of silence and flags at half-staff for those victims. The largest hurricane ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere appears to have spared Mexico the devastating blow that was expected, as residents of the town of Zoatlan, about 100 miles from Puerto Vallarta, assessed the damage caused by the floodwaters today. Hurricane Patricia is now not even a tropical depression as it moves across the mountains to the northeast and towards the U.S. The major port city of Manzanillo, not too far from where the storm made landfall as a Category 5 hurricane, is in fact reporting very little damage. But 23 million Americans now under the threat of major flooding from remnants of Patricia. The fast-moving system is dumping heavy rains on parts of Texas right now, and it was already waterlogged from days of rain before, washing out some train tracks here and even derailing this 64-car freight train south of Dallas. 2 crew members were on the Union Pacific train when it hit that water. The crew got out with help from a water rescue team. The rising waters have also stranded drivers who needed rescue from their cars. A consumer alert tonight. The new sign-up season for coverage under the Affordable Care Act begins November 1st. Consumers can start browsing on healthcare.gov the week before. The upgraded website features a new calculator that estimates total costs based on expected medical needs. Premiums are expected to go up in 2016, as they have for most companies, and the tax penalty for people who remain uninsured next year rises to $695, or 2.5% of taxable income. Starting in December, you're going to have some new Pop-Tart flavors to choose from. Look at all those bright colors. They are maple bacon, chocolate caramel, frosted watermelon, spring strawberry, and pink lemonade.
Oh,
just screams nutrition, doesn't it? Well, the Pop-Tarts won't be available all at once, though. Kellogg's plans to roll them out slowly during the next 6 months. After then, they'll be pulled from store shelves after next spring. July. Richmond police are dressing up in their Halloween costumes early to help you and your children stay safe this Halloween. Check them out. Yeah, Richmond police right here. They sent us this video Thursday. They want to remind parents to make sure to add reflective tape to a child's costume. That's when it gets dark outside. Police also want parents to consider 3 things when their child is in the store picking out the mask.
So make sure you try these masks on to see if they fit. Make sure that you feel comfortable. It's something you can wear for a while.
It's really hard to see. I have to be, again, exaggerated in my movement, and breathing gets a little bit warm.
And breathing is so important. So think about that when they try the mask on. They also say if your child's wearing a cape or, let's say, an Elsa dress, make sure it's not dragging on the ground. And at the end of the night, make sure each individual piece of candy is still wrapped and has not been tampered with. That is always good advice, Mike.
And Bill, across the area today, clouds hung kind of tough and we're stubborn. They'll be around tomorrow, but we'll add the chance for a rain shower or 2. There will be a better chance of rain this week from what is left of Patricia. We'll talk about that coming up next.
CBS 6 Sky Tracker, sponsored by Baugh Auto Body. Steel, a brand built on power, and the Americans who use it, build it, and sell it. Right now, Steel blowers start at just $139.95. Plus, when you buy select Steel chainsaws, like the MS-251 Wood Boss, get a free carrying case. Real people, Steel people. Join us. Visit SteelDealers.com.
Have you or someone you know developed serious complications from surgery using a transvaginal mesh? The FDA recently issued a warning that transvaginal mesh can cause serious side effects and complications. Tens of thousands of serious complications have been reported, and so far there have been 2 jury verdicts totaling more than $15 million for injured victims. One mesh manufacturer has offered $830 million to settle claims. You won't pay a thing until your case is settled. Call today and get the relief you deserve.
Most people wouldn't hitch a ride with a stranger. Sometimes convenience comes at a price, but the cost should never be your safety. What do you know about your driver? Do you trust him to get you home safely? Do you trust him with your life? 91% of Americans believe that there should be mandatory rules and regulations for drivers of ride-hailing apps. Know your rights. Make the right call when it comes to your safety. 83% of Americans believe that drivers of ride-hailing apps should undergo criminal background checks and should have to pass regular drug testing. All drivers should be properly screened, licensed, and trained. Don't put your safety, your privacy, or your life at risk. Inform yourself about the hazards of digital hitchhiking. Arm yourself with the necessary tools to ride responsibly. Do your research and think before you act. Visit rideresponsibly.org.
Now from CBS 6, the Weather Authority, meteorologist Mike Stone.
And welcome back. I want to share our satellite photograph here, and you can see all the moisture from what is left of Patricia. This is actually no longer a tropical system. It's a big area of low pressure. Now, you kind of look at this and you say, oh, all this is Patricia right here over Texas. Actually, no. There's been an area of low pressure down there, and the moisture from Patricia is now merging with that. But you notice the cloud cover extends all the way up throughout parts of the northeastern United States, so this conveyor belt of moisture will continue. And over the next 48 hours, sections of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and southern Arkansas may see in excess of 5 inches of rain. There were pockets southeast of Dallas. Over about the last 36 hours, they got 10 to 15 inches of rain. That is apart from any influence from Patricia. So kind of a separate situation down there, but that system will gradually track northeasterly. It'll lose a lot of its punch, and by the time it gets here, it'll just bring us the chance of some rain by the middle of the week. That's how it looks in the western part of the state. Out at our Westminster cam at Richmond International, it's 61 degrees. A few little breaks in the clouds. That's about it. Winds are out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour. Now, across the area, we have, for the most part, temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. 58 right now in Kilmarnock, 59 in Culpeper, and at 66 in Danville. There's a warm front just to our west, and before this cold front comes through later tomorrow,